Welcome to 4 Minutes Closer to God. My name is Doug. This segment, I'd like to talk about Jesus as human and divine. How's that possible? One of the concepts I had a while before was that in chemistry there is the concept of supersaturation. So the idea is you can take 16 ounces of one fluid and pour 16 ounces of a complementary fluid into it, and you would have 16 ounces supersaturated with these two separate fluids. The idea is that the human side of Jesus is supersaturated by the divine side, and thus he is able to be both at the same time in a way that none of us have that capacity. And so Jesus was existing before creation. He is the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. And the Word was the creative force, the spoken expression of God that brought the world into existence and created all the animals, the land, the plants, vegetation, set the stars in the sky, and had the sun and the moon, all of those 4 times and seasons. And so this pre-existent one then entered into the body of a human baby and grew as a human until his ministry was completed with the death and resurrection. And at the death and resurrection, then we get the validation by God, raising his son from the dead, his only begotten, his unique and only son, who was formed in the womb of a virgin and grew that way. And so the Holy Spirit supersaturated Mary, and they were then the parents, so to speak, Mary the mother and God the Father of Jesus, who is God the Son. And that supersaturation of the two beings then created this human who is capable of being our salvation. So the idea there is that if Jesus was on the one spectrum of heresy, completely human and just adopted by God as a son, he wouldn't be able to die for everybody. He could die as a perfect lamb for the sin of one person, but not for all people. And then on the other spectrum of heresy, if he was fully God, then he wouldn't have been the perfect sacrifice because he wouldn't have lived and died as a human being. And so in this case, then, we have the Jesus coming in the center being supersaturated, divine, over the top of the human, and the two are in this one theanthropic person, Jesus. And so theos is God, anthropos is human. So he was this being who is like no other, the one and only begotten Son who is able to save us. And that's kind of the point of the whole matter, is that he was planned from the beginning of before time to be the one who would come and save us. And it was necessary in accomplishing this that he be fully human and fully divine. Otherwise, we would not be able to get the salvation that we need through God's plan.